Greetings and welcome back to the channel. Once again, I am Lucidity, and today we will be playing some more Destiny 2 with some soft speaking. So, seeing as how we have done a video on my Hunter and my Titan, I figured today we would play on my Warlock. Let's go ahead and do... So here we are. Before we dive into our strikes, let's take a look at our loadout today. So, this is pretty much what we will be running today. We will be using the Witherhoard grenade launcher, which of course is an exotic grenade launcher. It is unique in that rather than firing an explosive projectile, it actually fires like a toxic area of effect grenade that creates a poison bubble on the ground that does tick damage over time. Alternatively, you can also directly impact an enemy with this, and it will sort of stick to them and do damage over time that way. Excuse me, my throat is a little scratchy this morning, so you have to bear with me if I need to kind of clear up a little bit there. But anyway, yeah, so that's the Witherhoard. We do have a few ornaments for this. We've got, the one that came in the season pass that this was presented in, which I believe was Season of Arrivals. Basically just gives it like an ivory sort of look there. We have this one, which is more of like a hive bone skeleton type thing. It's also really cool. And then recently they came out with like a wooden panel one, which personally I'm not a super big fan of. But my preference for this is really just the default one. I think this looks really clean, very simple, So that's usually what I roll with. We'll also be using an Ikilos SMG. This has been, a staple weapon for most PvE meta players for some time. Slightly less so now due to the nerfs to the Warmind cells, which is basically little orbs that these weapons can generate on kills. They're these orange glowing orbs that you can shoot to detonate, but you can also equip different mods that allow you to do different things with the Warmind cells. Like you can increase the damage they do. You can make it so that they heal you and other players in proximity to you when you shoot them. But me personally, I just like the design of the gun. I think this looks really cool. We have a pretty great roll on this. We have Surrounded, which, as it says here, it says this weapon gains bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity, and when you're using an SMG, you're generally, kind of in the mix there. Threat Detector, which synergizes really well again with Surrounded and also the general playstyle of an SMG. And this provides increased reload, stability, and handling when enemies are in close proximity, so it just makes the gun feel better to use when you're within, several enemies. We have Serif Rounds, which is a unique perk to this particular style of gun, the Aikilos variant of guns. It's basically just ricochet rounds combined with high caliber rounds, which basically makes it so that the bullets will bounce off certain hard surfaces, and they also stagger enemies a bit more. And then the barrel, corkscrew rifling, more range, stability, and handling speed. We have Stability Masterwork, which is very good for an SMG, with range probably being probably the better option here. And then for the mod, we have Surrounded Spec, which literally just increases the effectiveness of the Surrounded perk by making it so that the bonus damage stays around longer, even after 3 enemies are no longer nearby. And it also just increases the damage given by Surrounded. Okay, so that's the SMG. And for the sword, this is a really nice piece of weaponry here. This is the other half. This was a weapon that was introduced with the 30th anniversary DLC pack that came out. Granted, this is a free-to-play weapon. You don't need to own the 30th anniversary to obtain this, to the best of my knowledge. But it is literally a reference to the energy sword from Halo, right? The roll we have on this is Vorpal Weapon, which just gives, bonus damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians, so very good considering it's a heavy weapon. Relentless Strikes, which if I perform 3 light attacks rapidly, it will grant me more ammo, more swings of my sword, basically. Sword Master's Guard, which what this does, it increases the rate at which your heavy attack recharges with the sword, but it doesn't block as much damage when you actually guard with the sword, because with the sword you can actually block damage with it. Then we have Jagged Edge, which again is more raw damage at the cost of our ammo capacity down here. Masterwork, of course, Impact, which is pretty much, I think it is literally the only masterwork that a sword can come with. And then the mod, we have Boss Spec, which again, just more damage against bosses. Right? We're playing the Void subclass. We are doing the Top Tree Voidwalker, just in preparation and in excitement of the Void 3.0 rework that is coming in Witch Queen, which we will talk a little bit more about that. Won't really go into a whole lot of details here, but the key thing to note here is I can actually overcharge my grenade and toss it in to do more damage, basically. Armor, again, nothing incredibly wild here. Just pretty straightforward stuff. I am going to swap these around a little bit here so that I can get more sword ammo rather than rockets or linear fusions. Stats, of course, we're doing 100 recovery and 100 intellect, which, again, recovery governs how quickly I will get my HP back after being depleted. And intellect governs how quickly my super will basically rebuild after being on cooldown. The exotic boots. This is transversive steps. It's kind of like a catch-all exotic for me on the warlock. It, again, as it says there, it buffs your sprinting speed so you move faster, and it also reloads your current weapon that you have equipped. So for example, and as you will see in the video, let's just say I have my SMG out, I fire half the magazine out, but I don't reload. If I simply sprint while I have it equipped with these boots on, it will fully reload the magazine. Also, let's put on Scavenger. There we go. Okay. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in to some strikes. Yeah, we are next Tuesday. We will be 1 week away from the launch of Witch Queen. And I gotta tell you, if it wasn't, you know, already pretty obvious, but I'm extremely, extremely excited for Witch Queen. This past week, we have gotten all sorts of news and updates about, you know, Void 3.0, the way the campaign is going to be. Um, we had what they call a ViDoc, or like a video documentary, which Bungie, does pretty regularly, especially around the time of like new content releases. That just kind of had a bit of a more dive into what to expect from Witch Queen. There's an interactive trailer out on YouTube that pretty much gives a lot of backstory on Savathun and sort of how she has rose in power in the hive ranks and has become, such a, force within the Destiny storyline thus far. All right, so loading into our first strike, we have the Arms Dealer strike. This is a strike from the Red War campaign, which, for any of you who weren't around for the launch of Destiny 1, the Red War was pretty much the base campaign for Destiny 2 at launch. Unfortunately, it is no longer available as it has been put into the Destiny content vault as of the release of, I think, Beyond Light was when that got put away, along with a handful of planets and locations that were in the story overtaken by the Darkness Pyramid ships. But more or less, they were just kind of removed from the game since, Bungie came out and said the game has grown to a point as far as file size where it's just not, a good idea for us to keep adding stuff. And the file size is getting larger and larger. So we're going to have to remove some of the content from previous seasons that doesn't get a whole lot of engagement to make room for new content while also not, just bloating the download and file size of the game to just astronomical proportions. Like, what I guess I would kind of equate it to is, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, where the file size just to download and play multiplayer, you have to download like the campaign and the battle royale and all of that stuff. Unless that's changed, but the file size is like 200 and something gigs. Just absolutely bonkers. Um, so, while personally, I'm in the camp where I wasn't really too upset with the idea of sunsetting, just because I kind of understood why they were doing it. Now, the argument can be made. It's like, well, I paid for this content, but you're telling me now you're going to remove it, and I can no longer play it. So, yeah, that is a bit of a letdown. But to me personally, as somebody who, again, pretty much is going to buy every expansion for this game, I'm okay with that. Just because knowing that the content being removed is stuff that me personally, I haven't had it engaged with in a while, just because I'm playing the new content. And two, we get new content, right? And then, of course, just the understanding of, the file size and everything like that becoming unmanageable. But at any rate, I know the sunsetting topic, it wasn't just content that was affected, it was guns and, weapons and armor and stuff like that. So, plenty of reasons to be frustrated, but I was pretty much okay with all of it. Yeah, so we're just kind of grooving through the strike here. Again, this is called the Arms Dealer Strike. The objective here of this particular mission is to find and eliminate a Cabal arms dealer named Brachus Zahn, and I'm just getting lit up by the Colossus over there. Let's go and just wait for that to blow up. See, that's the Wither Horde just kind of doing its little tick damage there. Very nice weapon. Go ahead and just clap that guy up. So right now we're boarding a Cabal ship that is landed in the EDZ here. And we're just making our way through the tank to get to the last known location of the arms dealer. Right up here, we've got a big Goliath tank, which we're going to kind of just scooch on out of the way here to avoid getting clapped up by him. That grenade just went nowhere. Fortunately, I did not aim that very well. Let's go ahead and hit the finisher on this guy. Boom. We're going to hit the switch here. Let's do some damage to the tank. Now, unfortunately, we pretty much just have ranged. Oh, never mind. Looks like our teammates are going to go ahead and just completely obliterate the tank there. And we're going to just clear out the rest of these guys. I'm the kind of person where I generally, rather than just speeding through the strike, I kind of like to take my time and, actually eliminate all of the enemies and, just kind of enjoy it. But yeah, so here's another tank coming up. Again, we're just going to kind of launch a Wither Horde over at him. A secondary thing that the Wither Horde has going for it is that when the weapon is stowed, so, oh god, so that like when I have another weapon equipped, it will reload itself while I have it stowed. So it essentially has auto loading holster, which is a very sought after perk for grenade launchers, especially like breach load grenade launchers in the game. Just because you can, launch a grenade, put the weapon away, swap to something else, continue putting in damage, and the other weapon will be reloaded when you swap back to it. Granted, that you've given it enough time to reload. Get a sip of coffee here. So right here, this is pretty much the last room right before the boss room. But this is our target, the Brachus Zahn. You can damage him here, but I don't think you can actually kill him here. So we're just going to kind of move up, nail that guy with a Wither Horde. Kind of start, it's kind of a heavier guy, so we're going to just get in there with the sword, take him out. Got some turrets up here. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. Looks like the first batch is cleared. We're going to launch a Wither Horde over there again. And I guess let's get down here and get our hands dirty. That man just dodged right out of the way of my heavy attack. That is unfortunate. You hate to see that. The heavier guy here, we're going to just give him the sauce just like that. Make sure the switch has been pressed here. See, that guy's using the stasis sidearm. Cryesthesia, I think it's called. Super cool gun. Albeit a little underwhelming at first. So yeah, so now we're taking the elevator up to the boss room. And I'm going to tell you, this guy's probably just going to get nuked out of existence before we can actually see any of the mechanics of this boss fight, which, I'm all right with. A little of this, a little of that. Then we're going to come up here. We might die. Oh, we died. We just got roasted alive. We're standing in his AoE attack, Looks like our teammates are going to finish the job, though. So there we go. It's interesting, but there are actually some, mechanics to this boss fight where he has a couple of immune phases and different things like that. But with like the elemental burns and just the general lack of health that this boss has, he generally doesn't last long enough in any strike, for us to actually witness those mechanics take place. Now, the arms dealer is actually probably one of the shorter strikes out there, too. As you can see, we cleared that in under 10 minutes. So yeah, let's load into the next one. But yeah, Witch Queen, man, it's almost here. One more week until the 22nd of this month when it releases. I cannot wait. Lots of things to look forward to. The weapon crafting, new weapons, new armor, new mods. Void 3.0 is tremendous. There's a lot of contention and general disappointment that people are expressing right now about Void 3.0, in that it seems to kind of be giving warlocks more positives than the titans and the hunters changes to their void subclasses. I mean, and I get it. Just at a glance from the information we've got, it does seem that the warlock is pretty much going to be extremely powerful with the new void changes, on top of the warlock already being pretty freaking powerful. But again, I'm the kind of person where let's wait and see. Let's see how it feels to actually play. It's not in our hands yet. Not to, sort of excuse Bungie from any sort of shortcomings that may come up. But again, I'm the kind of person to where I'd rather just wait and see exactly how it feels to actually play. And with games these days, it's unfortunate, but at this point for me, it's just an understood thing that when a new game comes out or new content for something comes out, there's a very high chance that that content is going to be unbalanced and probably isn't going to work exactly as it should. But again, we live in a day and an age where developers have the ability to patch things pretty quick, whereas years and years ago, like in the days of like a Nintendo 64 or even a PlayStation 2, things like that, before the advent of like online games was really even a thing, if a game released broken, it was just broken forever. Whereas now, if it's released broken, hopefully it can get fixed within a reasonable time period. But yeah, super excited for Witch Queen. All the changes coming. I literally cannot wait. So this strike here, I can't remember the exact name of this strike. Fallen Saber. It literally says it right there on my screen. This is actually a reprised Destiny 1 strike. Kind of a fan favorite from back then. Pretty much the goal of this is to go inside a bunker that belongs to Rasputin, which is like what they call an AI war mind, or basically like a defense system AI that protected Earth from, I guess, interstellar threats. That was brought offline during the fall of the Golden Age, but was kind of reawakened back in Destiny 1. So right now, this this is one bunker on planet Earth that we're going to be going into that has some fallen inside of it that are kind of wreaking havoc on some of his systems in there. So we're going to go in and clear them out. Right now, we're kind of defending this, what they call a warsat, which is like a satellite associated with the Rasputin AI from these fallen who were trying to take it over. Once we defend this, Rasputin will actually open the doors and we will head inside the bunker to finish the job. Classic Destiny fashion, the way that you know, proceed with the event is standing within the circle and waiting for a timer to count down while your ghost does some stuff. So, just classic Destiny move there. We're gonna just charge up a grenade, throw it on that guy. Let's take the sword out a little bit and just clean those guys up. Let's get in here so we get our surrounded perk up and threat detector. Make short work of pretty much all these guys here. Oh, teammate just got nuked out of existence. So we have successfully defended the warsat. I'm going to travel on down here. And here is the entrance to the vault. So the weapon I'm actually using, Aikilos, this is actually a weapon. Again, I'm not entirely sure the exact lore, but it's manufactured kind of using the same, I guess, science behind the Warmind Rasputin. But at the risk of making myself sound completely uneducated about some of the finer points of Destiny lore, I'll just leave it at that because I'm not sure of the exact details on these weapons. But at the beginning of the video, when I was talking about like how this weapon and it can generate, what you call Warmind cells, you know, those Warmind cells are again, part of the whole Rasputin AI Warmind system there. So we are just going to, we are the last one alive because it looks like our homeboy Leo is all the way back at the beginning of the strike. Let's go and revive our, oh, never mind. He's picking himself up now, so he's good. Toss a grenade over there. Just obliterate that guy with a heavy attack. And we are ready to proceed. So I'm going to open this little core here, and we essentially have to get rid of this in order to bypass some security systems that he has. Get in there with the sword and really just clean those guys up, no problem. I heard an engram drop over here. I did. Oh, yeah, that's another thing that's getting, an adjustment. Come Witch Queen is past a certain power level, you will find less blue weapons. And with gunsmith materials going away, that won't really be much of an issue, right? And it will just prevent your inventory from getting clogged up with, basically useless weapons, useless gear, all that stuff. So that's exciting. They can be kind of a passive way to gain glimmer and stuff like that. But, you know, by dismantling regular old, legendary weapons, that won't really be much of an issue there either. Yeah, so I guess for those not familiar, that was some of the Nova Bomb Super as it currently works um, before Void 3.0. And again, it's not going to change drastically before, in Void 3.0. But it will be able to get some different modifications to it, and the subclass as a whole um, will, well, essentially in Void 3.0, again, if you haven't really followed anything there or know nothing about it, um, they are essentially reworking um, the Void subclass to more closely mirror how the Stasis subclass works. With the subclass, rather than having individual nodes that you select just to get specific, just kind of generic bonuses and stuff and effects to the subclass and how it works, the subclass is going to have basically mods that you can equip to sort of fundamentally alter how your abilities work. Um, Once we end the strike, I'll kind of take a closer look at the Stasis subclass and compare the two. Um, but according to Bungie, the overall ultimate goal is to end up reworking the three original, what you would call light subclasses, to again function, give them the Void 3.0 treatment, right? So that's something to look forward to. They're doing Void first. Um, I don't think we've got any communications as to which one they plan on doing next, whether it's going to be Solar or Arc. But again, whenever that comes, I'll be excited for that as well. So this is the boss here. Pretty straightforward. It's basically just a big old shank, big old fallen shank. He does have damage gates, unfortunately. So you can't really nuke him out of existence, but basically the way this fight works is you do damage to the boss, he goes invincible, he flies to the center, the back of the room there. You have to kill all the enemies in the surrounding area, and then he becomes damageable again. So right here, I believe we'll be able to actually finish him off. Oh, yep. Yep, there he goes. He is gone. This is really fun because his chassis just kind of rolls around on the ground, and you can just kind of fling it around like that. It's good. It looks like our energy weapons are full. They are. Those. So you can see here, it's kind of a good thing that they're gonna, sort of do away with just getting tons and tons of blue weapons once you get to a particular level in Witch Queen, because at a certain point they just become useless and just take up inventory space. So we're looking, so again, that was a sub 10-minute strike, so we'll actually work in a third strike into this video, and that should put us to about the 45-minute mark, which is where I generally like to end my videos. But yeah, the subclasses. So these are your light subclasses. And just as an example, this is what the Void subclass currently looks like. There's 3 different attunements, and each of those attunements sort of changes fundamentally how the neutral game of the subclass works. So like here, with the one I'm using here, just as we won't really look at everything, but right here, like the grenade, I can hold my grenade button and it will charge it up, and I can throw it for more damage. This one actually changes completely how the super works. So like here you have like Nova Bomb, which you cast like a big ball of void energy out of your hand. With the attunement of fission, what this does, and it kind of shows a cool little picture here, you basically you float around and you're able to just charge up and release a massive explosion of void energy from your body. Rather than just kind of like a one and done of the Nova Bomb, you can kind of fly around with this one and basically explode yourself over and over again, which is kind of cool. And then this one, the bottom one, oh, we got the arms dealer again. Let's leave this one and try to get into a different strike. Just so, we're not doing the same strike again. But yeah, and then so you this one, so the difference between this one and this one, there's, a few different things that, give it some different abilities. But with this one, rather than charging the grenade for more damage, you can charge the grenade and then consume it to restore your health. And this is a very, very powerful tool. The Warlock, you can basically be alive. It's very hard to be killed using the subclass, let's put it that way, if you use it effectively. So again, this is a light subclass. Now stasis, take a look at this. Very different. You have, abilities up here, which then have these like these changes here. So there's your jumps, there's your melee, your different grenades. You have aspects, which again fundamentally change how your abilities work. And then you have fragments, and the fragments are not class specific. So every class, Warlock, Titan, Hunter, will have the same fragments, but different aspects. So the fragments generally give, kind of more broad improvements to specific things, whereas the aspects provide more, unique and class specific changes to the abilities of that class. So that's what Void's going to be looking like come Witch Queen. So again, this is a strike that we did in the last video, but just to make sure we kind of stay in line with our 45-minute time here, we're going to go ahead and play this one out. Yeah, so again, it almost jumped off the map there. That would have been a little unfortunate. And I should probably mention this sort of stuff at the beginning of the videos, just because if these videos are serving their purpose, hopefully you're already asleep by the time we get to this point in the video. But for those of you who happen to watch the videos and, stay awake through to the end, or if you happen to skip around and end up here, big thank you to everyone that has subscribed in the last week. I think I gained maybe about 8, 9 subscribers. Second video seemed to have a pretty positive, response from you guys. So again, shout outs to all of you who have subscribed to the channel, left a comment, everything like that. Those little things like that really help the channel to grow and to, reach more people. Which, as somebody who, just enjoys making the content, becoming, like a big YouTuber has never really been my goal. If it happened, that's fantastic. But ultimately, my goal with this channel and just to be, and being a content creator in general, is to, number one, make content that I myself would enjoy to see, and to be able to provide that to other people that have similar tastes. And two, I've been into ASMR for, man, probably close to 5, 6 years now. And not that I've ever really had any trouble sleeping, but I'm telling you, I throw on like an ASMR video about, a game I'm interested in, or even, a game I've never played, but just hearing somebody talk about gaming in like a soothing way, I find it fascinating, and for whatever reason, it relaxes me and, gets me to sleep super fast. I sleep really well. Um, so, at night, I just pop in my headphones, check out some of my, favorite creators and stuff like that, give them a listen, and a few minutes into the video, I am asleep. Why are there no enemies over here? Oh, there we go. But again, big shout outs to everybody who has followed the channel. Um, I guess not followed, but subscribed to the channel. Um, and again, as I normally say, please feel free to leave a comment with suggestions, different things you may want to see. Um, I'm planning, Destiny has a lot of things coming up here with Witch Queen. So I'll be doing a lot of Destiny content. But I do, enjoy playing other games as well. Dark Souls. I've got Dark Souls Remastered, which I may end up recording another video today, maybe right after this one, of some Dark Souls gameplay. Um, I, of course, have my non ASMR channel, which I mostly use for streaming. I haven't really um, created any just regular videos. It's mostly just as like my, I guess what you call VODs from my handful of streams I've done on that channel. But again, that's non ASMR. It's basically just me and some friends playing Destiny, or, you know, me playing Dark Souls or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited to keep making content, getting it out there, and, especially with the ASMR channel, hopefully help people, you know, get some sleep, I think, or just relax. It's, gaming has been a tremendous part of my life as I've, grown up, gotten older. It's always been something that I have done to relax, and it's something that I, obviously still do to relax. So, and again, I genuinely love making, especially the ASMR type videos, and just hoping that it reaches somebody out there, clicks with them, and just, you know, adds some quality to their life. Um, but yeah, it's just like even right now, just recording these videos is relaxing for me, you know, just waking up on a Saturday, popping here into my office at the house, firing up the recording software, and just kind of talking about games that I love to play. So yeah, we're just kind of fragging out here. Again, for anybody not familiar with the this particular strike, this is called the Scarlet Keep. Primary objective here is to infiltrate the Scarlet Keep, which we are in right now, and eliminate basically a hive wizard that is causing all sorts of problems here on the moon, which is where this Scarlet Keep is located, is the moon. Did I actually stand on this long enough? I may not have. No, I did. Let's grab this ammo here. Looks like it's that particular platform over there that still needs to be captured, but he's working on that right now. Oh, but he got clapped up here. Let's go and pick him up. Throw down a healing rift. So we have successfully captured the 3 platforms we need to get inside of this Scarlet Keep here. For our buddy to catch up here. Don't want to leave him in the dust. It looks like it's actually just me and him right now. Can't see the fire team, but just looking in the wrong spot. Yeah, when Witch Queen comes out, unfortunately, I had to make a kind of boring adult decision to not take any time off during the release. But just because, yeah, the way work is right now, I actually recently started a new job and I don't quite have I don't exactly have a lot of paid time off right now. Like I had enough where I could, you know, take the release day off or the day after. Uh, but that would have exhausted a majority of it. And, with COVID and all that stuff and people getting sick, I would kind of again had to made the boring adult decision to hang on to my PTO um, in the event I did get sick. So I'd rather, have it in case of an emergency rather than being like, oh, thank God I can play Witch Queen on day 2 all day long. But now if I get sick, I don't have any PTO to cover my time, or if something were to happen and I need to take the day off for like a family emergency or something like that. Oh man, let's go pick our buddy up back here. Okay, so this video is going to run a little bit longer. It looks like Strike is a bit longer than the other 2 we played, but that's all right. Sure any fans of the channel won't mind about 15 extra minutes of time. That guy's toast. Let's hop on the elevator here. Yawn up. We'll do the funny Fortnite dance. Just kidding. I know the floss has been around well before. Um, but yeah, again, I, I'm very, very pleased to see that, a few of you have really enjoyed the channel so far. I just get an immense amount of satisfaction knowing that even if these videos resonate with just one person out there and it resonates with them enough to, you know, just want to tell me that it resonated, like that just, it's incredible to me. Absolutely incredible to me. It's just so much chaos and things that happen in someone's life. And as a fellow human being who is subjected to all that chaos just as much as the next person, I know how good it feels to just have some time to yourself to just relax. And that's what I want this channel to be about. And that's what I hope um, anybody out there is able to take away from this channel is just even just 5 minutes of peace. So we're nearing the end of the strike here. We do have to go up this floor, take the right side while my teammate works on the other. Clear out the wizard that's going to open my door here. See if he needs any help over here. Looks like he's pretty much got it under control. Hoping he'd give me the nod back, but my man is focused. He's laser focused right now. I did also make some adjustments to my microphone for this video, so it may sound a little bit different. I did some pre-recording just to kind of listen to it and make sure, it at least sounded good to me. So hopefully when I go back and start uploading the video, nothing weird happens to it. But I added some additional filters and stuff to just kind of try to balance things out. Different levels and stuff in the microphone. So again, hopefully when it goes through processing and everything during the upload, it sounds as good as I thought it did. Kind of a dicey situation here. I think we will be okay. We'll be all right here. Let's go ahead. The boss is damageable now. Right. One of the things that Witherhoard's really good at is this right here, just area denial. Being able to just pop down the Witherhoard shot. Just being able to pop down the Witherhoard shot. And any enemies that come through that particular doorway that you blocked off are just toasted, All right. And that is going to complete the strike. Let's go ahead and collect our rewards. And let's just dip back out to orbit as we do our outro here. Once again, to all of you who have subscribed to the channel, all of you that have left, encouraging comments, things like that. Thank you so much. Again, I hope that if you do find this channel and if you have stayed awake or watched all the way to the end of this video, again, thank you so much just for stopping by. As always, feel free to subscribe, leave a comment, leave a like. Those things, while it is kind of, tiresome hearing YouTubers talk about that, those things do help the channel grow tremendously. So, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video to be relaxing, and we will see you next time.